All right, let's move on to Bills Jets. I imagine that everybody will be on the Bills in their survivor pools this week. I plan to be as well. Let's see what we're looking at. Bills open up at minus 13. The leading indicator books have moved it to 13.5. I imagine it will be there shortly. This is the Bills on a short week. This is an angry Bills squad. Disappointing 26-17 home loss to the Chiefs. The teams that played in last year's AFC Championship both stomped on the Bills. Titans stomped on them, and then the Chiefs did. They were just completely dominated by the Chiefs on the ground, which was Coach Reid pulling a fast one. They still lead the AFC East, game ahead of Miami. New England is in third place, 2 games back. As I said, the Bills defense carved up for 245 yards on the ground. Chiefs went 9 for 14 on third down. Buffalo has allowed 3 of its past 4 opponents to convert 60% or more on third down opportunities. The Chiefs had a 15-minute edge in time of possession. Allen was completely shut down, 14 of 27, 122 yards, 2 TDs, 1 pick. Devin Singletary, 10 rushes for 32 yards. Cornerback Cam Lewis did not return after hurting his wrist. Starting left guard Cody Ford was carted off the sideline after hurting his knee. Buffalo's defensive struggles led to a shakeup, but the shakeup didn't really work. Defensive end Trent Murphy and defensive tackle Harrison Phillips were inactive. They were replaced by Brian Cox and Justin Zimmer, who were elevated from the practice squad. They really miss Matt Milano, who's still questionable. Linebacker Tyrell Dodson is questionable with a hamstring injury, but it's Milano who's the big missing part right now. Jets were embarrassed 24-0 Miami, 0-6. Only winless team, continued their worst start since 1996. They were 2 for 17 on third down. Flacco making a second start for Darnold, 21 of 44 for 186 yards and an interception. Darnold continues to be questionable. After they released Le'Veon Bell, they ran for 115 yards, so they looked fine there. Linebacker Frankie Louvu suffered a groin injury, did not return. He's on injured reserve. Chuma Adoga left with a calf injury, did not return. Offensive lineman Alex Lewis left with a shoulder injury. He's now week to week. And offensive tackle Mekhi Becton remains questionable. Is there a move to make here, Bebsy? Bills are 13-point favorites, and this total has dropped from 47 to 45.
I just think it's too many points. I do like the Bills bouncing back here and putting forth a dominant performance against an awful Jets football team, an awful and injured Jets football team. Just it's an awful lot of points to give a team that's just gotten worked 2 games in a row. And it's a divisional game. It's almost like they're begging you to bet the Jets right now. So for me, this is a no play. I'm not interested in that many points taking the Bills, and I couldn't look myself in the eye taking the Jets. So it's a no play for me. I don't know how you can get excited about this one, to be honest with you.
I agree. I mean, okay, let's talk about the Bills. What were the biggest flaws on this team that's just been beaten up by the AFC elite?
Well, their defense has really let them down. And the offense, look, the first few weeks of the season, that offense was firing out of the gates, and they were scoring so many points to start these games. And then their defense was playing great and then letting teams back in, which was kind of scaring me. It's why I love the Bills so much first half. But then all of a sudden, the Bills, 2 games in a row, haven't been able to move the ball offensively. So in a way, it looks like the defense is terrible, but really, it's that offense has not been doing what they were doing at the start of the year. So Josh Allen hasn't looked as good as he did. That offense just doesn't seem to be gelling. And, anytime an offense isn't playing well, it puts more pressure on the defense. You're on the field longer, you get tired faster. And, for as good as this Bills defense is on paper, they haven't been terribly exciting. The most exciting thing that's happened to that defense is Josh Norman absolutely getting manhandled by King Henry, which, Jesus, I don't know how you get up and play another football game after another grown man does that to you. So it's just, there's nothing terribly exciting for me about this. It's too many points to give a team that's struggling against a divisional opponent.
Shannon Dan 44 says, I cash first half bets at a great rate. Trust me, Bills first half is easy money. What do you think? Are the Bills going to be up by more than 6.5?
Well, yeah, I mean, that would be the play for me if there was a play, and you might have talked me into it because they will bounce back this week offensively. I think they're playing a terrible Jets defense. So if there is a play in this game, it's that. I'd lean towards the under because I don't see the Jets scoring many points. But Bills' first half is without question the nicest look right now.
Do you think that you should wait till you know that Sam Darnold won't be playing?
I don't think that makes a ton of difference, and that's not a knock against Sam Darnold. That is a knock against the Jets' offense.
The 6.5 is heavily juiced. Let's just check it out right now. That's 6.5. Oh, shit. Sorry, I'm on the wrong game. It's up to minus 130 at a bunch of different books. I'd like to see what it is here. Yeah, it's minus 130 at Bet365 too. Chris Brady says he won't matter. Slats 45 says Bills first half. They've lost 2 in a row and they're pissed.
Yeah, that's a pretty enticing play. I mean, I've hit a couple of times on Bills first half already this year just because they've been that team that up until recently jumped out.
Yeah, I think Bills first half makes sense. I would almost prefer the 7 at a better price than sitting with a minus 130 in my pocket. And, it's just see if I can mess with it here. If I can move that, get an alternative point spread. I would prefer an alternative point spread. See if I can get one. I'll should be able to get a first half alternative point spread. Okay, I will look for one. But I would prefer minus 7 and minus 105 and minus 6.5 and minus 130. What do you think of this total? Dennis wondering about the under here. I mean, the Jets are not going to be scoring much. This is an angry Bills defense that wants to send a message that they're not that bad. And they did sort of show it against the Chiefs, but the Chiefs still ran down their throat. What do you think of this total that's sitting at 45.5?
Yeah, I mean, you have to figure the unders in the play just because it's the Jets. The Jets put up, 6 points against the Niners' third-string players. They've just played terrible week in, week out. Last week, their run game sort of got going, I guess. But the under is the play here.
Jets team total after being shut out. That's the only thing that concerns me. Is that 15.5? That's juiced to the over. Strange. That would be juiced to the over.
Let's not forget, this team is already looking at a yard sale right now. They're already looking at shipping guys out. They're staring that number 1 pick in the face right now. And even if they were trying to win, they have Adam Gase coaching. How was this guy the last guy to get fired? He's got to go. He's got to go. He's such a bad coach. It's mind-boggling that man still has a job.
I'm going to wait.
Thanks, G-Biz.
I'm going to wait. If it's Flacco, I agree. If it's Darnold, who's been sitting there staring at the offense, I'd be a little bit more hesitant. All right, let's first half and under. If Flacco is starting, and if that market moves against me because Darnold doesn't come back, that's fine. It'll just be a no bet.